Hey everyone, this is Victoria Kennedy, and welcome to VK's Midnight Chatter, where we talk about everything that goes beyond the everyday discussions, from paranormal phenomenon to enlightenment and everything in between. First, let me introduce myself, and then we'll dive into our very first episode. I've been a practicing medium clairvoyant for about 20 years. Currently reside in Los Angeles area and am planning to relocating to Nevada, hopefully very, very soon. To find out more about myself and my services, you can visit my website, vkennedy.com. All information that is spoken about is for entertainment purposes only. Wanted to put that out there since there's an artist who has a team doing nothing but scanning the internet and sending out cease and desist letters. I won't mention who the artist is, but I'm sure you'll be able to kind of figure it out as we kind of go on tonight. All right, so that's enough. Let's get right into tonight's episode. So tonight's episode will be about the music industry. And this is such a huge topic, especially right now with everything that's going on. But first, let's go back to the beginning and let's talk about Aaliyah. Remember Aaliyah? I certainly do. She was so popular. Aaliyah was born in Brooklyn, New York, and her full name is Aaliyah Dana Houghton. I'm pretty sure I'm totally messing up her last name. From everything I have read, she was destined to be a star from the very beginning, from a very early age. At the age of 11, she was on the television show Star Search, and the same year she performed with legend Gladys Knight. In 1994, her debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, was produced by R. Kelly, and that album quickly sold 1 million copies. It didn't stop there. She'd worked with other well-known rappers and producers such as Missy Elliott and famous producer Timbaland, who also produces for artists such as Justin Timberlake, just to name one. The road to success was already being paved. In August of 1994, she was 15 years old. And this is where it gets a little creepy, I guess we want to say. Aaliyah married R. Kelly, who was 27 years old at the time. Now, let me go back and reference that when Aaliyah married R. Kelly, she was 15 years old and he was 27 years old. This was, a marriage that was illegal, and her parents eventually had the marriage annulled. So we're talking about R. Kelly, who is a grown man and explains a lot as to why he is in jail. There are numerous conspiracy theories about Aaliyah's death. I've heard she was drugged before getting on the plane. She was a Illuminati sacrifice to a very popular R&B artist and her husband, and the list just goes on and on and on. You know, it's really interesting that if we look at where R. Kelly is at today and how nobody saw this when Aaliyah was 15 years old as not being right. There's something wrong there. He's a grown man, and this is at the age of 15, a teenager. And I clearly feel that he took advantage of the situation and also of Aaliyah. There's just so much that I would love to say about R. Kelly, but why even bother at this point? So, we kind of have to go back and ask ourselves, was this a sacrifice? Do we truly know if the Illuminati does exist? And if they do, who are these artists who are involved? And why are they killing people? We not only have Aaliyah, but there's also Michael Jackson. Remember, he spoke about Tommy Mottola with Sony Records and said that he is a devil. And that was in 2002. And Michael Jackson died 7 years later in 2009. Now, again, we have to ask ourselves, is this truly a coincidence. It's just something that ended up happening, or was this a planned sacrifice? There's also other musicians, such as Tupac, who was killed in 1996, G Slim in 1996, Biggie in 1997, Jam Master Jay in 2002, Mac Dre in 2004, and Nipsey Hussle in 2019. And these are just a very few artists who were killed. There are numerous artists who were killed. And what's so ironic is that every single one who have died, not only the ones that I named, but also the ones who I have not named, were all involved in shootings. And we have to ask ourselves again, are they killed out of jealousy, rage, or despite? Or once again, is this truly a sacrifice that's being done by the Illuminati? Let's ask ourselves, do we know if the Illuminati truly exist? And if they do, who are these people? We hear it all the time. It's the Illuminati. The Illuminati controls the music, the movie, even our everyday news. We hear it. They're controlling everyone, everything. And if you truly look at things, look at how much emphasis that the celebrities have on our kids. I remember when I was little, going shopping and getting shoes. I mean, a pair of shoes that was over like $50. It was like, what the heck is going on here? And now, because of YouTube and celebrities having their own brands, I mean, even sandals are even costing $200. So we kind of have to look at that. Who's influencing our kids? Who's influencing the celebrities? And it just goes on and on and on. It's kind of sad. It truly is. So I had to do some research because I myself am always saying it's the Illuminati, the Illuminati, but 9 times out of 10, I'm joking around. So the Illuminati was a secret society that was around from 1776 to 1785 and founded by Adam Weishaupt. And again, I know I'm probably tearing up that last name. He was a German law professor who wanted to promote, get this, he wanted to promote Enlightenment ideas to the members. Bottom line, they wanted to influence political decisions when they came to power. Their members continued to grow and also joined the Freemasons Lodge to recruit members for their own competing secret society. Now, once again, the German law professor wanted to promote Enlightenment ideas to their members. And then again, it goes on saying that they wanted to influence political decisions when they came to power. That sounds more like ego to me, which I'm not really sure how enlightenment has anything to do with this. So, when they go and join other secret societies to recruit members for their own competing secret society, to me, it sounds like a cult. We have seen those in the music industry making a pyramid with their hands or having one eye closed. Allegedly, there is an artist who had his own mother killed, which apparently all members have to pay their dues, and those dues are with sacrifices of another person. I mean, people irritate us all the time, right? But at the same time, we're not going to go and sacrifice them. Why would we want to do that? But again, the Illuminati, they're all about enlightenment. So the plane that Aaliyah was on, was this a sacrifice? Was this a sacrifice that R. Kelly had to have in order to continue having his own fame and fortune? These artists who are being killed, is it because they finally stopped giving up their control and it ends up upsetting the Illuminati? I mean, when does this stop? I'm asked continuously if I believe in the Illuminati, and I do. I always believe that there is some truth behind all the conspiracy. There was a famous newspaper that was out, I want to say, I don't know, 80s or 90s. I just remember seeing it as I was in line at the supermarket. And this newspaper was always getting sued. And again, there's always some truth to the conspiracies. There's always some truth to the lies. There's always some truth to whatever people are saying. They might not have the entire story, but there's always some truth. And on this particular newspaper, like I said, I don't even know how they're still around. I think they are. And they were getting sued all the time from the celebrities. And 6 months to a year later, what they printed was actually true. So yes, I do believe that there's a secret society called the Illuminati and that they truly exist. I also feel that there is so much that goes on and we have no clue or any idea of certain things, certain secret societies, certain organizations that could and do exist. They like to keep us in a bubble and make us believe we have freedom and nothing is censored. Now, I don't live in a bubble, and I know I piss off a lot of people, but we all know deep down inside that this isn't the truth. Remember during COVID when they said, if you don't get this shot, you're not going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. You won't be able to go to X, Y, and Z. They were trying to have people go and get the shot out of fear and intimidation. You had to stay in your house. You couldn't leave. This is a form of government control. With the Illuminati, they try to mind control you. So we have government control and we have Illuminati with mind control. All the same thing, right? Because we know that within the Illuminati, there's also politicians. They basically want to control you in everything you wear, drink, eat, and say. Once you decide you no longer want to cooperate with them, then they made that particular person seem out to be crazy. And that particular person, which could be an artist, could be an actress or an actor, they somehow die of a drug overdose or suicide. It's never ending. And we have seen it time after time after time. We've seen reports of actresses having meltdowns in complete strangers' driveways. We have artists who end up getting a baseball bat, shaving their head. And the number one thing that they always say is that they've lost it. They must be on drugs or they're having a mental breakdown. In which I truly believe that because they control you with mind control. And, mind control goes back to the very beginning, in the military. And they're just messed with day in and day out until finally they break. Until they finally break. And then they have gone so far that that particular person or people, they're just so far out of it that they can't focus, they can't concentrate. They're no longer the person, the artist who they once were. And again, we see it all the time. We go on TMZ, we see it. Story after story after story. But Aaliyah, she was not under their control. So again, was she truly a sacrifice? Was she R. Kelly's sacrifice? Let's bring things into the now, into 2024. We all know there's a huge scandal about Diddy. Numerous reports have been made about him. About a year or two ago, like before all of this actually came out, I had told my sister about him, which I won't say what I said, but once everything started coming to the forefront, I remember I called my sister and we both said, "Oh damn." When it comes to celebrities and predictions, I stay away from that simply because of the drama. Besides, like I said, there is an artist who feels she is perfect in every way. And again, as the story continues, I'm sure that you will figure out who I'm referring to. Diddy, he was extremely popular. He led a very glamorous life, and I'm doing past tense because he's not going to have any more glamorous lives to live. He's going to have to watch everything he does and everything that he says, especially because there's just numerous reports. I mean, there were always reports of violence. If it wasn't for Cassie, his actions would have been undiscovered. And why? Because he simply would have continued paying people off, giving people that hush money. So I definitely give kudos to Cassie. This took a lot of courage for her to come forward. And I would not be surprised if she was also threatened or continuously being threatened up to this day. I was reading an article in vulture.com and said that Diddy was sued in federal court and that he was accused of raping and a decade-long pattern of abuse that started when she was 19 years old, meaning Cassie. This is not from vulture.com what I'm about to say, but it has been said that P. Diddy was also linked with Aaliyah. Kind of feels like another Jeffrey Epstein story, doesn't it? I tried to find if both Diddy and Jeffrey were besties, but I was not able to find anything. But then again, it could have been because I just really lack patience with this, with the whole story of Diddy. So where is Diddy? He seems to have gone quiet. I wonder why. Is it because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and now there's also allegations about his son? My favorite is when a celebrity is about to face their downfall and suddenly believes in God. Anytime I hear a celebrity bringing up God, I know it's about to hit the fan. If these allegations were not true, why are so many people coming forward? And what about his so-called freak-offs? There is a list of celebrities who are shaking in their boots because they know names are going to be dropped. And we're not just talking about little names, we're talking about big, well-known names. Even though I'm patiently waiting, it's sad because these artists feel they can do anything to anyone and nothing will happen to them. They feel their money has power and they forget their money has no power. And that the light always shines at the end of the tunnel, and that light is not going to be their light. The music industry is dangerous. And those who don't follow the rules or regulations, as I mentioned before, either end up dead or in a mental facility. Attorneys steal their money. They need to pay their dues to the Illuminati. And once you stop, you have your immediate downfall. We have seen it. We have seen how the reality TV shows mingle with the music industry. Fame and fortune is great, but you have to stay on the side of morals, not the side of how much money you can get if you hang out with a certain person. Sex tapes have been made, churches open, careers have been ruined, people have been killed, families have been killed, all this for fame and fortune. They sell their souls. again, for fame and fortune. They make society feel if they are not thin and don't have money, then you're nothing. I said this earlier that kids look up to the artists and they have self-esteem issues because of how the artists portray their lifestyles and how everyone who hangs out with them are skinny, they're rich, they're having expensive and lavish dinners on a yacht. Kids already struggle as it is. It's extremely difficult for them, especially kids who come from who come from a home whose family doesn't have a lot. There's so many kids who are depressed. There's so many kids who are on anxiety medication. And I truly feel that it's because of how the artists are portraying themselves. I'm so glad I'm not a kid in school. I'm really glad for that. All I know is that there's going to be a lot of celebrities who are going to be exposed. Do you remember Heidi Fleiss? So Heidi ran an upscale prostitution ring in LA and made $300,000 a month. These celebrities, who were known to be identified as Charlie Sheen, Johnny Depp, George Lucas, Hugh Hefner, and many more. Bottom line, someone ended up getting upset with Fleiss and spilled the beans. She was dropped out of the spotlight. And again, allegedly, she has been or is associated with the Illuminati. Do you see where I'm going with this? The rise and fall of stardom will happen to those who are a part of any secret society. They have everything they want, everything they need, and then bam, you're either dead, turned into a druggie, or in a mental hospital. Let's not forget about Amy Winehouse. Enough said. The music industry is controlled, and the more money they make, they are able to obtain a higher rank within the secret society. We will see many more artists come and go just like Diddy. There will be more accusations from other artists, and those who are afraid to say anything will end up just simply going away very silently. We see artists videos where they're crying on their live videos. Just listen to their songs. Listen to their songs. And you can make that decision for yourself. You have to remember there's many artists who are linked to Diddy. Some don't want anything to do with them, and it's been like that way before everything kind of came out into the open. Then you have the other celebrities who were in those freak offs, I think that's what they call them, and now they're in hiding. We have people who were other artists and even other reality TV show individuals, other celebrities were following Diddy. And then they end up not following him anymore on any social media platform. I know that sometimes we all just kind of sit back and we'll watch a reality TV show or watch a music video, or you end up seeing a celebrity or an artist on a talk show. And we just kind of look and we always think like, man, I wonder how it would be to not have to wake up early in the morning and have to go to work at a shitty job. To be able to just live this life of luxury. They have all this money. They don't have any problems. Right? Isn't that what we all kind of assume? Well, let's look at Diddy. Let's look at Diddy and just kind of reconsider everything that you were thinking of living that glamorous life. It's okay to have a glamorous life, but again, you have to stick with your morals. when you go and start having lavish parties and freak offs and have a million cameras around your home and videotaping everything that's taking place, you don't think that someone's not gonna say something? And I'm sure all those video cameras within his home was not only for the freak offs, right? But also for blackmailing. We all want to assume that he might be dumb, which he is. Okay? Which he is. I'm not going to deny that, but he's not stupid. Two differences. So just know that, man, this is just going to open a whole can of worms. He has messed with so many people, male, female, and it's just not gonna be within the music industry. It's also going to be with the movie industry. You're going to see very high profile actors and actresses that their names are going to be dropped. See, the only reason why the list has not been dropped from Jeffrey Epstein, my bestie, is because there's going to be a lot of political members there. If there was no political member that would be named, that his guest list or whatever we want to call it would have already been released. But I can guarantee you, as you know, this whole Diddy scandal, names are going to be dropped. Exes are going to have to come forward. And then we also have to think about, okay, well, Tupac was killed, Biggie was Biggie was killed, Kim Porter was killed. There's just so much to think about. And again, it's going to be one huge scandal. I would love to totally spill the beans on everything when it comes to talking about Diddy, because there's already so much that I know, but at the same time, it's all going to come out. It's just not going to end with trafficking or with rape. And I really don't know why they have not included molestation. Maybe that's going to be something that's going to come out. We have to think about, you know, how he groomed other artists who stayed with him, who were minors. Not only were they minors, but he was grooming them. And when it comes to trafficking, that's the number one thing they do, is that they groom them by giving them lavish, expensive gifts. I can take you to the best restaurants. The I can take you to the best places, basically. I can buy you a diamond ring. I can buy you a brand new car. So it's just going to be a huge scandal, a huge, huge scandal. And you know what's also funny is that, I totally lost my train of thought. 50 Cent, right? I love him. He actually talks about Diddy at his parties and his freak offs. And he even says that he's been invited, but he was like, hell no, I'm not going. Which is a smart thing. Again, as I mentioned earlier, how the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I don't know if you heard, but there was actually an audio recording of P. Diddy's son and how the female, how she was drugged. And you can Google it. And I actually think if you go on TMZ, you might be able to find it on TMZ. But there's just going to be so much. And it's just going to be mind-blowing. People are going to be shocked. So I would just go ahead, grab your popcorn, grab whatever it is that you want to drink, put your feet up, because this is going to be one heck of a show. One heck of a show. Right, everyone? Well, thank you so much for staying awake with me on the first episode of VK's Midnight Chatter. Midnight Chatter will air live every first and last Saturday of the month. If there's something you would like to hear about, please let me know. You can visit me on my website. We'll have the links to all my social media platforms, and that is vkennedy.com. And until next time, everyone have a great night.